You are listening to the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Palace of Mega Pencils. This is Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo!
Hello and welcome to Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. I'm your host, Stephen White. With me, as always, my co-host, Lacey Finley.
Happy Monday.
So, as I mentioned last week, my daughter getting married.
Yes.
And the whole thing went lovely.
Excellent.
I wasn't sure how I'd feel in the moment. Not that I would have any kind of doubts or anything like in the moment, but... As it was happening, I could just see the look on her face and her excitement, his excitement, and I got a little weepy-eyed just
of course.
for them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I was happy that she's happy. And it's funny, too, because I kind of came to a realization, and it might seem a little odd for some people, but you have to understand there are certain elements of my family situation I can't help. So
who can?
It is what it is, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But she is the one child that I think I will only have gotten. Well, let me rephrase that. One of two. There are two others, not so much, or whatever. Anyway, point being, I got to see her grow up. And I know that people are like, well, yeah, she's your kid. It's like, yeah, but a kid of divorce.
Sure.
Shit happens.
So back and forth.
Right. So I've gotten to see her go from infant to grown woman. Mm-hmm. You know, that whole gamut. So I got to see her born. I got to see her walk. I got to see her go to school, speak. I got to see her graduate. I got to see her have a kid. I got to see her get married.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten to see all of that. And it clicked.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And I
now she's doing it.
Mm-hmm. And there's only one other opportunity I have for that. And, you know, I'm not saying, you know, that anything bad about it. It's just, again, children of divorce, what do you do? But,
right.
Again, it was that realization that I did get to see one of my kids, my first child, grow up from start to finish in some way.
Right.
And I don't know, it just made me happy and proud.
Right.
You know.
It was fun.
Mm-hmm. But it was a simple, quick ceremony, and I did have a little anxiety going into Nashville the night before because I don't like driving.
I understand that. I
you
feel
know,
it.
I can't imagine what it's like in bigger cities like Chicago or New York or LA. I couldn't do it.
No, you wouldn't be able to. No.
Because Nashville is bad enough, and I would lose my shit.
Mm-hmm.
But
it happens quite often. Yes. Just yesterday, the Hubs and I teamed a flipping off of a lady. So it's just how it goes. Yeah.
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 I would be...
Because she was mad that we didn't let her do her asshole thing. That she was just going to, you know, cut all the way up at like riding the... you know, where they had the orange cones for construction.
Mm-hmm.
She just rode that all the way up and then managed to get beside us and ran out of lane. And she's like, honk at this. And I went, oh, you mean you're mad we didn't let you do your shitty thing? Because we're all trying to get somewhere and we got in this lane in plenty of time when the sign said 2 miles ago that it was closing.
Mm-hmm.
Aw, I'm sorry. You didn't have the time to figure that out.
Yeah, that... Being stuck, like if you just got stuck and you were trying to get over and
like if you
people
came
were being dicks,
yeah,
that's understandable. Doing that shit, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's ridiculous. No. And
besides that, she was in our blind spot. So, like, by the time she had pulled up next to us, there was no room. We wouldn't have been the ones to be able to let her in anyway. But what was kind of funny is the car behind us didn't either. So it was just like, oh, well, okay. And then she got all mad and kept going next to us and doing all this. And my husband and I are just blowing her kisses. And I'm like, we're going to get shot one day doing this. You know that because of all the news I saw this last week, just getting in the wrong car by accident. And I was like, you know what? We just need to not because people are not stable.
But hey, there's not a gun problem in this country. Moving on.
Oh.
Anyway, but no, it was a fun time. And
yeah, it looked like it.
I don't really know what more to say about it, so I'll leave it there.
Well, congratulations.
Congrats to her.
Yeah.
And I even I think in a moment where I had a kind of a moment alone with my new son-in-law, as he is, and I just kind of gushed on him for a moment and mentioned that I had said something about it last week. And then, funny enough, the night or evening of the wedding, my daughter's just like, "Hey, where can I find your podcast?"
Oh!
And I was like, that's
Which
interesting. So I was like, well, here you do, you search this or search that or go here, go there. And so if we saw an uptick, maybe they're just trying to find out.
Listen.
Yeah, they wanted to hear what I said.
Yeah.
I saw a trailer for a show that completely caught me off guard, and I'm hoping that it will be good because it seemed interesting. So there was this trailer that I saw for a new show coming on Disney Plus called American Born Chinese. Now, I was not sure what this show was supposed to be. I just saw it, and I saw Michelle Yeoh was in it, and I thought, okay, let me see what this is.
So it could go either way. Yeah.
So I hit play, started watching the video, and it really started like it was going to be this kid who starts a new school, and maybe he's like the outcast, and you just kind of see that he's struggling, and then there's another kid in the school, and he's also kind of going through similar things where he feels like the outcast, and the two of them get together, and you kind of get this sense that maybe there's a little something going on, or just are they chummy, or I don't know. Right. And then it takes a complete 180-degree turn in another direction and turns into something fantasy. And I was like, wait, what? What is going on here? And
really?
From what I understood, because I looked up a little bit more about it, it's supposed to be kind of, a modern retelling of the Monkey King story from Chinese culture, from Journey to the West.
Okay. I'm not familiar, but...
I'm fair. I know bits and pieces. Katrina knew it immediately because she's like, are they retelling Goku and Dragon Ball? And I was like...
See?
Yeah.
Like, you might know better than me on this one, babe. Like...
Yeah, she picked up on it pretty quick, and when I looked it up, I was like, yeah, I guess the Monkey King. So she's like, oh my God. So it was just kind of unexpected turn that it took, but I'm still intrigued by it. And Ke Huy Quan's also going to be in it as well. So it's almost like they reunited that whole cast from Everything Everywhere All at Once in some small little fashion. So I'm like, all right, cool.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I'm down for it. Just I'm hoping I hear good things about it, and
sure.
Follows
well, what's it on?
Disney
What
Plus
network? Oh, that's right. Okay.
So at least they got the money behind it.
Sure. I don't know. It just feels like these days I watch a season of something that I adore and then they just cancel it. So I feel maybe my taste just must be so different than the rest of America because I can't understand why you have a really good cast and actually a really good script and it's funny and then you do it a season. Like, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. I feel like
like reality TV goes on for 20 years and you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't understand.
I feel like there were a handful of things that ended this week that I'd been watching, but I did. So I want to ask you this. There's another show that I had seen maybe like little advertisements about, and I didn't, it wasn't drawing me in. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like just looking at the advertisements you see on websites or whatever, and I was like, whatever. But then I read a review for it. And the way the reviewer laid it out, it intrigued me. And I was like, okay. Because he was saying, it's been a long time since I've seen a concept this original in a long time.
All right, all right. Yeah, now I'm listening.
So I was like, okay, so it's a show on Peacock called Mrs. Davis. And to my understanding, from the little snippet I got from the trailer, there is some AI that has gone rogue in some.
This will be the protagonist for all of our features for the next couple of years.
Right.
Go ahead. Or antagonist, depending on how you run it.
So it's like some growing AI that I kind of got this feeling's gone rogue, and it seems to have befallen a nun to take care of it.
Oh, okay.
And the nun is played by Betty Gilpin. I don't know if you know her by name. She was in Glow. That's a show that... I don't think
I saw that either.
And I'm sure she's been in other stuff too, but that's the very first place that I remember.
She actually does not look familiar to me, but okay. Yeah. Interesting.
And then there was another guy who... Sorry, I don't remember who that was.
That's fair. I never remember names. That's why I have to look everybody up when you say it.
But I think he's kind of gets involved and roped up into it. And just the way it kind of plays out, or at least what you see in the trailer, I was like, all right. I can't think of anything like what they're presenting. So I'm like, okay. And what was interesting about it is the reviewer also said that he got to see 4 episodes, and he's like, or did he say 4? I don't know. He said, so I remember there was 4 episodes, and I think there's 8 altogether. And he said if the last 4 are as compelling as the first 4, then, mind blown.
Oh, all right.
And again, maybe different tastes. It might not appeal.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But that review alone, I was like, okay, you've got my attention. I would be willing to give it a watch, or at least the first episode, to see if I'm intrigued by it all.
Okay, yeah.
Because you're selling it pretty good. You're telling me it's something I've not seen before. Great. And it looked like a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give it a watch at some point, hopefully soon, and then I can reassess and tell you if I was into it or not.
Right, yeah. I have to go back to the NBC app and do some more Quantum Leap watching too, and just finish that season up, because I feel like that's got to be done or close to.
Oh yeah, they did. How do I say this? They did a good finale, and it was.
Well, I'll see.
It was great.
I'll see.
Yeah. I don't want to say more than that, because a lot of the plot threads, I don't know where you got in the story specifically.
I think the last episode we talked about last week is still the one. I haven't gone back to it yet, so I'm probably 4 or 5 behind at least.
There were some interested, like they follow through with the Leaper X storyline, who is the. All right. Do you remember?
They better have, because that was the only real interesting. Honestly, I mean, it's good and all, but I mean, it's not amazing.
It's well, I mean, that would be about like how you'd talk about the original. I mean,
true.
If you think about it,
was entertaining.
Yeah, if you think about it, there weren't really a lot of through lines with people outside of Sam and Al. It was just, here's a situation. He's in time. He's got to fix a thing, and it's that all over and over and over. And some are good, some maybe not as entertaining, some are more entertaining. But they have these other through lines that they play with.
That's fair. You're right. There is more of a backstory for the characters that we can also get let in on as they're also leaping and doing their thing. I mean, I don't know if this is a spoiler for people, but I mean, the one thread about moving into the future and stuff and back in sequences or whatever, that is interesting to me. So I want to see where they take that for sure, if they do anything for the end of it. But I was like, ooh, okay. So like, I don't even know if it's real science or anything, but because he can leap so much faster through or whatever, Ian explained it as. And I was just like, oh, interesting. Okay, let's see what you do with it then, Yeah. So I will finish it. I'm just waiting for it to just be done, and then I'll just sit down and watch them.
Well, it's been done for, I think the finale was about 2 weeks ago, so they should all be on there. Go back. Yeah, and
maybe I'm not as behind as I think then, if there hasn't been an episode the last couple of weeks, so maybe I've only got a couple.
And
we'll see.
Was it Ian does play a much bigger role than you might imagine in
I
the
feel
grand
like
scheme
Ian's
of
been
things.
playing a bigger role than I thought in throughout the whole thing. Well, the ensemble actually
Yeah.
is more of a. There's not really a one person. Sure, there's the one that the story is kind of revolving around, but honestly, I feel like it's been a group effort.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And it definitely turns into that by the end, trying to I can't say much. I just gotta have to go back.
We'll let it go there, and I'll let you know when I watch it. We can chat then.
But I really was looking forward, or I thought it was good, and I'm looking forward to a season 2 and where they go with that.
I'm sure it'll get renewed.
Oh yeah, it already has. It already has.
I mean, let's be real. NBC's only remaking everything from like 30 years ago now.
Oh sure.
I mean, I honestly had to ask the hubs what decade we were in after I saw like, oh, a Perry Mason ad and this ad, all these things like Quantum Leap, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I've seen all these before as a kid.
And Perry Mason, that's been doing pretty good too. I don't want to say much
I
about that.
Bothered.
Oh really?
Just like Night Court, I still haven't bothered yet. Yeah, I don't know. Some of it I just want to keep in my ephemeral bubble. Like this is how it was when I watched it. It was great. They were 2 good shows. Like the shows were too good when they were new. I don't know. Sometimes we have this way of remaking things in today's image that's so freaking boring. I'm sorry.
That's fair. I mean,
we kind of have like one through line that we have to be careful about for everybody now that we're doing. And I'm just like, all of it's too predictable now with what you're going to do.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say with Perry Mason, I appreciate that they didn't try to emulate the show from, what was it, 50s, 60s? Is that when it came out? Yeah.
Oh, God. I know at least. I want to say.
So it wasn't.
I thought, but.
They weren't trying to do a 1-to-1 remake of that show. Like they added layers. Perry Mason's not exactly the best guy in the world, but he's good. He's sharp about what he's doing. He's he does have a sense of justice. He's not like I'm a lawyer, but I'm also a shit person. Like he's got he's got his flaws, but he's always trying to do what's best. And so I really appreciate, at least it's a unique take on the material. Okay. And I guess more on the source material of books, I think is what it was.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
But
I really didn't look into it much. I was just having sitting there laughing my butt off when we were seeing all the ads, and it was literally stuff from every single ad I was seeing and flipping through. I'm like, oh my God, this is kind of funny. Like how many that were reimagining, if you will, at the same time.
No, I get it.
And it was just weird to me, but maybe for the new generation, they'll enjoy it.
Yeah. Now, I will say with Night Court, that might be a harder sell. I personally have gotten into it. Like the more you watch it, you just you settle in because you are comparing it to the original. And then you see all these people who are not those people that you remember outside of Dan. And you're just like, are they just trying to mimic what was done before? Like they had to find their characters. And then once they do, you're like, okay, I'm settling in. But at first, even Katrina was like, I don't know. And I was like, let's just give it a minute. Let's see if it can find it.
Court was so good, though.
I know.
I mean, you just can't beat that ensemble that got together.
Sure.
And I'm sorry, are you going to find another older lady as amazing? Well, she was only in the first couple seasons, unfortunately, because she did pass away to lung cancer. But she was amazing. You're not going to find anyone else like her with that timing and just that raspy voice. And sorry. Some people, maybe I'm just being stubborn.
No, I get it.
I might just be being stubborn, like a creature of my own world, and you all are screwing it up.
I mean, we still had a very... I'd say that had I not, or actually rewatched it because I'd found it on like Vudu or something, I thought, screw it, I'm gonna watch this right now because it's been a long time.
Freebie.
And then Katrina watched it, she got into it, and she fell in love with those characters like everybody would. But you're now comparing something new, and you kind of like even the bailiff. What is their name? Gertz is what they call her for short.
Oh, yeah.
So you saw what she was doing, and she's kind of like this amalgamation of previous bailiffs in this new series. So when you watch her mannerisms and everything, you're like, is she just trying to be like this one or that one? And you're just kind of, you're not sure. But then she finds her voice, and then you're like, okay. And then now Katrina's like, oh yeah, she's like one of my all-time favorites on the show because she found her voice. She found, you don't have
Took a couple of episodes to get her going.
Yeah, you don't have to emulate the characters that came before you. Be your own character.
Make it your own. Yeah, those characters are long gone for realsies even. So like most of the cast is gone, right?
Richard Mall, who played Bull, and Marsha Warfield, who played Roz, they're still alive. But
yeah, why didn't they bring Roz back in then? She was.
I think they were.
I shouldn't ask. Maybe they did, and I don't know.
I think they were talking about doing that for season 2. Again, wanting to settle in, find your footing, and then do cameos or whatever. So it's not just like, hey, we have to rely on cameo appearances from older cast members.
Yeah, that's fair. It should try to hold up on its own.
Yeah. So with the exception of Dan, who they completely reinvented. So that's fair for that character.
He died too, the actor, right?
No, John Larroquette's still kicking.
Not John Larroquette. I'm sorry. The judge.
Yes, Harry. Oh my God, Anderson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Harry Anderson passed.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Some time ago. Unfortunately. Anyway, we're bringing the room down.
I know. Let's go back up. What's up?
What you been playing?
Okay, this week has been mostly board games again because I've actually been busy and hadn't really had a chance to do my gaming this weekend like I would have. But because we have some visitors in town. But we did finally get around to playing the Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, which I know if you guys are in the Discord, I was reaching out to Deva about trying to find some fun fantasy board game because the Hubs wanted to play something with a little bit more depth than just the ones that I like where I can do the crime scene investigating and I'm happy, but wants more meat to the game. And we've done about 3 campaigns so far. So it's fun. And the fact that he would even bring up about wanting to play again made my heart happy because usually I'm the one begging to play and he just still did because he's nice and he loves me. But okay, not begging. I shouldn't say that. But like I'm the one who always has to bring it up, So that's been fun. But as far as games go, I have so many that are loaded because Deveki came out with Murderous Muses too over this week. I have it downloaded and installed. I'm just trying to get the time to do it. So I do want to dive into that. I've been hearing rumors that it's their toughest yet. And I'm just like, oof.
Okay.
Because Dr. Decker, like I played it before you guys got all that fun hint systems and everything that was in it. So that was tough. But playable. Still playable. I was still able to beat it and everything like that. But so I'm curious. I'm curious what they did differently here, and all their lore is going to be amazing because they're really good at storytelling. So I have no doubt that it's going to be good. I just haven't had the opportunity to get it started yet. But what about you? I saw movies and stuff this week. That's what I did.
Yeah, no, I've still kind of been going back and forth with the Sudoku game when I just have a moment to just break, and then I did play Resident Evil 8 quite a bit. I got out of the mansion. I think it was the last thing that I said that where I was trying to get out of the big castle or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I got past that, and then there was another doll creature, weird,
spooky thing.
Yeah. And then I think I'm on my way to the next part of the village or what have you. And you know what? I will say this about the game. I appreciated one element. So going from the castle to the doll and then finishing that up, I appreciated they didn't turn that section into yet another big mansion that I had to explore. It was a very small, different idea. So it was more like a ghost house. So they kept me in a very small space, and I had to just solve puzzles until eventually you get to a certain spot where you're being chased by this mutant infant, which was terrifying.
Oh my God.
Because
an infant?
Yeah,
Infants are already scary.
But it's big. But it's an infant.
Oh, it's a big
infant? You just hear and you're like, what is that? And you can't see. So you have to run and hide while it's searching, and then when it's done searching, you can see its path because there's just blood streaks all over the floor.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
And adorable.
It's gross. But I appreciated that it wasn't just more bang, 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 getting in, getting out, doing that
Was it a little bit more suspenseful?
Yeah. Like really
A little
amped
bit
up
more
the
scary.
horror. So that was a lot of fun, and it kind of got me looking forward to playing the rest. But then, now I'm torn. Okay.
Oh.
I haven't started it, but, this week, Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters came out.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, no hesitation, 4 or 6, got them. I know that there are more, but those are the 2 that I wanted, so I got to start there, and then I'll work on the rest if I get back around to it. I was looking at reviews trying to understand, maybe what... I don't need to be sold on the game.
Right. What did you change?
Yeah, what did you do? So they were talking about, graphical. It's been remade using pixel art graphically. So I guess there's different lighting, shading, yada, yada. And of course, the ones who benefit the most from it are the older NES titles, because now they've made them look more polished than they ever did. The score apparently has been upgraded. So it's, a more... I guess
like a more robust sound.
Yeah.
More orchestra. Yeah.
Or at least that's...
Well, I guess if you think about it on NES, what sound did we really could
Yeah.
have? We probably had like 8 notes that we could. Yeah, so excellent.
So I'm looking forward to hearing how that sounds, but I heard that you can also go back, swap back and forth. If you want to listen to the old music, you can. If you don't...
For your nostalgia bump, yeah.
Which I appreciate, because sometimes... the upgraded music just doesn't do it for you, you know what I mean? Like you'll listen to it and you'll be like, I see what you're doing and I appreciate it, but I want the old thing.
Yeah, right.
This
Like,
is good.
That's old habits die hard.
So I'm hoping that I can appreciate the new, because I can't imagine I wouldn't. I've even sought out like orchestral compositions of that music, and I love it. And sometimes it doesn't hit right, because somebody's not doing it the way I want to hear it, or they're hitting the wrong notes for me personally. So, but yeah, I'm trying to hold off on playing it because I really want to, but I'd like to finish Resident Evil 8 first. And it's my rule, where I want to finish a game before I start a new one, but it's so damn hard.
It depends on the game for me. If it's like a heavy story focused one, I try to keep that rule going to where but sometimes I want to bounce around.
And another thing they added in there too that I read about, which excites me on so many levels, is now you have toggle switches on how you can kind of adjust a game for your play. So since I've played these games 100 times over, probably not that many, but I played them a lot. I'm familiar with the stories. I just want to play them again. First, it has an autosave feature, which, thank God.
Right. Yeah. We never had that. Yeah.
Secondly, you can adjust how much money you get, how much experience you get, and how many fights you get into. So if you just want to walk through a cavern or whatever and you don't want to fight anything, click it off.
Interesting.
So
what would be the point? Like, is this your movie mode?
Maybe like say if you've went and done a lot of grinding with your XP and you don't want to have to deal with, because it can. I remember that frustration. You're just trying to get somewhere, and every few steps you're getting attacked. It's like, just please, for the love of God, just leave me be. I just want to get there.
Fair. I've had games like that. Yeah.
So if I can be buffed, and then they're telling me, you can just skim right through this. Absolutely, that's what I want to do. Just so I can get there a little bit faster. But
sure,
if not, if I want to go through the process of fighting, then I don't know. But just the fact that they're options if you want to adjust them, fantastic. And this one excites me the most, and I can't wait to see this. And I was kind of hoping they would have added a little bit more flair to it, but it doesn't matter. There's a scene in Final Fantasy VI that is an opera, and it's part of the story. Like they're trying to, I can't remember all the details, trying to infiltrate and do a setup and whatnot. So they have to put one of the characters into the opera. And sing, and you have to select what she says and as it goes on. But they said they redid the entire thing with an opera singer. So you actually get to hear the vocals, and it's not just
Right.
And I remember the song.
Yeah.
But to actually hear it as an opera, I'm excited. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is it. Yeah, that is a nice upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Fun.
I don't know. I'm hoping I get around to it. I don't want to feel like Resident Evil 8 is a burden right now, but I just really want to play it so bad.
It was just the timing.
Yes.
Yeah, the timing.
I just want to play it.
Well, maybe you could speed through the rest of it. I don't know. But you like to explore too much.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
problem.
But that's fine.
Yeah. But
I mean, if you wanted to play some of it, you could. It's not like you already know the story, so it would just be fun for you. At least there's that. It wouldn't be confusing your stories. You know, they're pretty different.
That's true. So,
I mean, maybe I shouldn't be encouraging it, but I'm just saying, if you want to play it, play it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's where I'm in my head. I'm saying it
Logically.
to myself. Yeah, it's like, what is the harm? It doesn't matter. And I'm like, yeah, but I gotta finish this one game. It's like, but just, it's the conflict.
Maybe you know yourself, you won't go back.
I think that's what I'm afraid of, because if I get into it, I know I'm going to be settled in, and then it's not just going to be one, but two games that I'm going to settle in on, and then I'll never get back around to
8, and it's been long enough that you've forgotten the mechanics, but you're far enough along that you probably really should remember.
Yeah,
it's a little
that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Maybe you'll find out next week if I went against my gut.
Which side won?
Yeah.
Which side of the brain won? The emotional or the logical? I don't know. Both sides fight in my head all the time. I'm never sure there's a winner.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not me. I'm not the one who
Right.
wins in the end.
So what you got in the way of news?
We have some little bit of news going on this week. I don't know. Okay. This wasn't even going to be something that I was really going to chat about, but then it kind of, this Twitter blue thing, we have, so I don't even know if I'm going to be able to find my gaming companies, like the ones that I used to play or like follow for certain things.
Yeah.
And then even Tim Sweeney was tweeting out basically how if you're not paying for it, you're just trying to loaf. And I'm like, I don't think I knew what the argument for it was, if I'm honest. I don't think I knew what it was, because it seemed like everyone's like, why are you being cheap? Just pay the $8. And I was like, so that's what you think, is that they're all being... So did anyone understand what the verification was for? Is what I have to ask myself now, because I don't think it had anything to do with I'm too cheap to pay the $8. The whole point is anyone can impersonate anyone for $8.
Yeah. I've been hearing that argument too. A lot of people have been making that. It's like, so if I don't pay it, somebody else can, and that's all they're trying to point out. The hypocrisy there. It's just like,
It's like nobody knew why it came into play in the first place, because nobody used to have checks again. And it was the same thing. People were impersonating celebrities, selling you on stuff, scamming people, and other people who were celebrities or notable figures were like, I don't want my name associated with this XYZ thing and all this stuff. So then Twitter's like, okay, let's come up with some sort of system to where we know it is you. Was it abused over the years from Twitter staff and given to friends and family and stuff? Probably. But that was the whole point. It wasn't because they were a class above us all or just this note. Like, it seems like the argument is, oh, now you got to pay for it just like the rest of us plebs. And I'm like, nobody had to pay for it.
Yeah.
It was free.
Exactly.
What are you talking about? So, and the fact that they wanted to charge like $42,000 for a month for API access, so a lot of that was another thing that I was going to bring up for that, because like Microsoft players, that Microsoft Xbox X, the easiest it's been supposedly ever to clip your favorite moment from your gameplay and upload it to Twitter. Well, now a lot of them are noticing that that's not working, because Microsoft's like, yeah, I'm not going to pay $42,000 a month for you to log in that way. So you can go and use our app, which will also allow you to post it to Twitter. So it seems like all these other companies are like, just use our thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I think I'm done.
Yeah.
I think I'm done. And because of the fact that all of the stuff that gets posted in your For You is only people who pay. And now I think I know what people were talking about because I blissfully missed it. But every check mark I saw was like maybe 2,000 or less followers, and all of the garbage, conspiracy, racist stuff. And I was like, oh, these are the people buying Twitter Blue. That's getting promoted on my timeline and pushed around. Now I know what people were talking about because I didn't see all the hateful, racist stuff that they were saying was upticking on Twitter until now that they paid for it and it's getting pushed in my timeline. This is the reason why I love Facebook. So, siblings, where else you at? Like, I think Twitter's done now at this point, or at least for what I was using it for.
Yeah.
It's kind of turned into, maybe I've been in my own echo chamber, but it's turning into an echo chamber of the other side. Vaccine misinformation I was seeing, like, oh, it was just crazy. It was just crazy. Alas. And he's giving it to certain celebrities too that didn't ask for it.
I saw that too. What the shit is that about?
Because, well, he's trying to make it sound like they're whining about not getting their check mark. So this is where I feel like it started. It was probably he was trying to make it sound like it's not a class system. I didn't understand what he meant when he announced that the first time. I'm like, what do you mean he's taking it out of the classism? It's class. It's not longer peasants. And, I didn't understand. Well, now I do, because you all thought it was just because they were more important than the rest of us. And it was just like, oh, nobody knew what it was there for. Okay. I don't know. It's turned into a much bigger dumpster fire than even I anticipated. So, siblings, I'm kind of looking for a new place to go then to advertise. Where are we at? Maybe I just need to go touch grass, as the kids say, and just stay off Twitter. But where could we advertise now? I'm not paying. We're going to get stifled. Like, nobody's going to see it unless you legitimately go to our pages, turn on the notifications, and hope it works, because I'm not paying for anything. But
yeah,
no. Now that I see who was buying it, my God, Steven, my God. And apparently there's a Block the Blue campaign going on too. Okay. Well, this is the reason why I read it, because it was so hilarious. I don't know if you've heard of Drill. Huge shit poster for like 15 years. Millions of followers just from this character that, whoever it is created. We'll say he, but I don't know. Managed to stay pretty anonymous this whole time. Millions of followers. Millions. He's not going to pay for it. They're not going to pay for it. So this is what started it, was because Drill said, yeah, I'm just going to block on site with these paid check marks. Screw this, all this kind of stuff. Shit poster again. So he changed his name, and he found out if you change your name for a minute, it takes off the check, because it only registered with that. But Elon kept putting it back. If you think about it, all those millions of people that wouldn't be getting fed into the ecosystem of Twitter, he's like, no, you get it back. Because he was trying to, I think, screw with people who were trying to block Twitter Blue payers. Because I guess it'll mess up their system if you have all of these things blocked. It puts more of a strain on the system. So you have someone with millions of followers shitposting to do this. You have Elon, who's literally paying attention because keeps putting it back, which again, I think could be trouble for him if you're forcing it to look like someone paid and is endorsing a system they didn't. Could also probably be a lawsuit. I don't know. But if the reason why the check mark came into being was because people were impersonating people. Right.
He doesn't understand what he's doing.
I don't think he understood Twitter. And maybe he did and didn't care. Like, it's one or the other, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, but it's gotten crazy. So when I started seeing like Tim Sweeney tweeting about, like, just do it. This is just people who are begging. My God, poor Tony Hawk already gets confused enough. Everybody who meets Tony Hawk just tells him he looks like Tony Hawk. And now we're going to do this to the poor guy, Anyway, so we'll see. I'm thinking I'm going to get rid of it. I can't, there's no point. I don't feel like flipping through hateful, racist, misinformation, stuff like that from all of the people who have a million flags in their name. You know what I mean? Those people. Yeah. It's always got the flags and love America and all this stuff. I'm like, And it's just hilarious to me that all these people who have like 50 or less followers are getting bumped up, and it's not even good content.
No.
That's why you have to pay for it. That's why no one was following you in the first place. It wasn't good content.
No, you're
Now
right.
it's getting promoted. Like, you would have had more followers if you were putting out good content. I don't know. So suggestions would be welcome, because I still would like a place that we could advertise, for the pod. But if I'm not paying for it, no one's seeing it.
Yeah. No.
And I don't know if it's the people I want to advertise to anymore.
No, I get it. I mean, even I, to be honest, I've noticed kind of that trend, because there was a time where I felt like we had people who saw our tweets, retweeted our tweets, liked our tweets, and suddenly it just disappeared. Like, we don't have that happen anymore. And
I don't know where my following people end up anymore either, because there's that following part, and then there's the for you. So I had switched to just the following, thinking I'll finally see the people I'm following. But then when I switched back to for you, here was a whole slew of people that I had been following that I hadn't been seeing in months. And I'm like, which section are they going into? And these are people that don't have blue check marks, so why are they in the for you section now?
right.
I don't understand. Like Eric Slater, I know I'm not going to pick on him. I hadn't seen his stuff in forever until yesterday when I went over to the For You, and I'm like, oh my God, there you are.
Yeah.
I don't even understand how it's splitting people up. So I'm not even seeing people I want to see. Like,
Right.
just don't. Sorry, guys. I think I'm done. I can't figure out like what benefit it is in my life, So we'll see. I didn't mean to go on that long about it, but just the fact that I could see like, now we have our big game developers over at Epic trying to be this, that, or the other. And I kind of thought the whole thing with Drill was just kind of hilarious, because it was the most petulant back and forth baby fight that I had seen in a long time. And he just kept shit posting, and he kept putting the check mark back, and he'd change his name, and then he would shit post some more. And then when he realized Elon was paying attention, his tweets got really vicious towards Elon, but in a fun shit posty way. And I'm like, I think if he left, he could take the whole platform down. I'm just sorry. Imagine thinking you're supposed to pay a platform to create content for it. All I'm saying.
What?
Imagine it. Imagine. Anywho, real news.
Okay.
Real news. Blizzard man. I just was reading this week. They've had to start a crisis map because they're losing so many people that they're basically having to do a check on what games it will and will not actually be able to ship out, because they don't have people finishing. They don't have enough people finishing the games. Enough people have been turning in notices and laid off or whatever has happened. It's starting to sound like it isn't even sustaining itself. So the map they started, again, is deciding which games it can and cannot with the staffing levels, how they are currently. It has multiple live services, remember, that Blizzard has to keep going too. So I'm sure a lot of those resources have to keep, Diablo going, or World of Warcraft, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, those are online servers you've got to pay attention to. And they're just like losing a lot of talent. A couple of people who still work there were tweeting out this week too that they're losing so many, and nobody's really still listening that are in power, that you can't do that if we got rid of everyone who made World of Warcraft Dragonflight. So it seems like a lot of those people that were there to help that are also turning in notices and going on to other things, which I love to hear personally. I hope they are finding amazing other jobs, honestly, because if they're that talented and if the CEOs legit are just not going to change anything and you can move on, please do. Doesn't sound like they're trying to change anything. Like, they're just waiting it out to see if Microsoft can get them or not, is what it feels like. But yeah, so one of the guys that's a director over there, just kind of every time a notice comes in, he'll look at his little map and scratch out whichever one he thinks isn't going to be able to happen now and move on down the list. So making more and more sense on all the delays, I guess. They don't have the people to do it. And probably explains why Overwatch 2 apparently launched without a lot of the features that it would advertised it would have. I guess Diablo 4's team's doing okay, because it looks like I still see another Break Our Server beta test happening like the second weekend of May or something. So if you're interested, I guess you could sign up for that now. Sure. I've heard it's probably pretty good. They had one test play already, right? Because the whole Kentucky Fried Chicken sandwich thing, right? or sandwich in quotes. So, I don't know what to say anymore about it. We've all been waiting to see what's going to happen with the merger. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be good or bad, or if the whole thing's just kind of done at this point. I don't know. I'm sorry for those of you who are into those games though and love them, because I don't know. I feel worse for the people who are getting treated that way, but it still kind of sucks when something you love is going away. There's nothing you could do about it. Let's see. Atari making a comeback, you think, huh? You think everyone's going to be it's going to be another household name now? Everyone's going to see. I don't know. Well, as some of you may know, last week Atari just kind of gobbled up and acquired more than 100 PC and console titles from the 80s and 90s era of video gaming. So, which would have been their heyday. Mm-hmm. So maybe they're buying up some of their old stuff that used to be on the console. I don't know. Like they want to breathe new life into some of their older classics here, and reimagine. That was actually the word I saw. Reimagine with today's tech. Okay, fine, sure. Since Atari's moved hands a bit over the years, I mean, I don't really know who's involved with anything anymore, but Atari's IPs, some of them look like they'll be coming home. So like the Demolition Racer series is one they wanted to redo. Hardball. I know the 1942 Pacific Air War one. Like I kind of feel like I remembered playing that, and F-14 Air Combat series. I feel because it was just like a doot 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 with the airplane, kind of like Galaga or whatever with the aliens, but just sideways, I guess. Going like a plane would instead of up and down. I don't know. So we might see them getting reimagined, new quality of life improvements breathed in today's tech. I don't know. You think they can pull it off? You think people are going to care? Do you think it'll talk to the younger crowd?
They actually did release a game, I think it came out a few weeks ago, called Atari Mania. And the concept behind it seemed really neat. It seemed like a way to play through old Atari games, but you're not playing the game specifically. They're like mini games within the game, and they're utilizing like pixel art, or at least that's how it came off to me.
Sure.
That's how this game is being laid out. That to me was like, that's cool, because you're taking these old titles and you're finding a way to kind of utilize it within a new game so people can play the simple concepts, because there's not a lot to them. There's nothing
really
to
isn't.
them.
No.
But
which probably wouldn't hold their attention these days.
Yeah, no.
2 buttons to hit, and that's about it. Yeah.
But to remake something like those, I mean, you have to go above and beyond to really make. Because a good example.
What story?
And I know that this isn't one of the games, but it's an old Atari game that I loved, was Pitfall. Simple concept, just like the adventure. Pitfall 2, probably even better in my opinion, because they actually turned it into a bigger, it wasn't just side-scrolling, like you had a whole map and shit that you had to get through. So if you could upgrade that concept, something like that, it could be kind of fun. So you just have to find a new way to lay these games out, because the old stuff, it's just not going to cut it. And I'm not even talking about graphically. I'm talking about gameplay.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot.
Yeah.
It wasn't a huge story.
Nope. There was just simple concepts, and understandably, because they were limited in what they could do. Sure. So if you want to revive these games, you have to find a new way to maybe stay true to what it was, but add some new concepts to modernized audiences, because it's just not going to fly. Nostalgia will only go so far.
Right. And I mean, and then watch, they'll just put it out on their new console. But again, only still a handful of people have.
I thought they shut that down.
I don't know. I feel like they had to fulfill the few that they had, I didn't look more into it, because I was like, as cool as it is, or it sounds, it's still only doing the same thing it did 50 years ago, but faster, I guess. But maybe I should have looked harder into it. But yeah, it didn't look like anything I wanted to spend the $500-$600 on, because it was still that much, to my understanding.
It was not something I was paying money for.
No. Well, we'll see. It's a multi-year comeback plan, according to Wade Rosen, who's Atari's current CEO, that the Atari fans can look forward to seeing many of these games re-released in physical and digital formats, and in some cases, even ported to modern consoles. So they also acquired Night Dive Studio, who is well known for remastering retro games and modern systems. So we may see a lot of refreshes and QOL improvements stated in today's tech. I don't know. Let's see what they can pull off, I guess. But it just seems weird that we're going to dig that deep into an old PC catalog or something to do. But maybe you've got a great plan, and let's see what it is. I don't want to knock anyone's idea until I've actually seen it through, you know?
Sure.
What do I know?
The name of that company sounded familiar, and I was trying to think of something that I've seen them do. But
yeah, you know me and remembering names of anything. Mm-hmm.
All right. Yep. All right. I see what they've done. They did Shadow Man, Quake, Doom 64,
I was gonna
or
say,
at least
I feel like they did a
remasters. Doom. Yeah. Okay. Seventh Guest. Oh shit.
Ooh, that would be interesting to see remade. How would you even do it? Because the whole thing was just basically pictures of hallways that you went down.
I mean,
until like something spoopy supposedly popped out, you know?
Possibly maybe find some of those pixelated Harvester. They did Harvester. Jesus Christ.
Wait. They remade Harvester?
Remastered, I would assume. Probably were the ones behind getting it republished.
Because I was going to say, there's no way people wouldn't no, that would offend everyone.
Yeah, that game was a little problematic.
Didn't age well. Oh my God. I thought it was hilarious, but I totally understand why some people didn't like it. I don't know.
No,
unless
I get
you're
it.
attacking me directly, I don't get too offended, but yeah. I would pay for someone to remaster that one and me see what we did it in today's FMV.
Right. It could be kind of fun.
Right. Like everything looks a lot better now. Hello, we've seen very talented people creating quality FMVs over the last 6 or 7, 8 years now. Like it's took a nice uptick. So that could be, I would be okay with it. Yeah. I know it wouldn't sell well and we'd have all sorts of Twitter campaigns to, cancel it, but it would be amazing to me. Anywho, so we'll see what happens out of that. Rumor has it Xbox is working on a mystery franchise sequel that may take a decade to develop.
Oh my God.
Like, we already knew you bought Bethesda. That's not a secret.
Yeah. Why would you even say anything about that?
I don't know.
A decade. Okay, some of us are going to be dead in a decade, not me.
Probably.
Or at least I hope not.
Maybe the whole world will be by then. I don't know how much time we've got left.
Yeah.
We're escalating very quickly here. Well, apparently this information comes from a complaint and a lawsuit against Microsoft's proposed deal to acquire Activision Blizzard. So the amended document references games not currently announced with Microsoft in an established franchise, probably Halo. Something tells me Halo. I don't know. But Halo Infinite, which is the most recent title for Microsoft's first-party Halo franchise, was in production. It says redacted. The cost almost redacted million to develop to bring to the market. Other AAA games take longer, for instance, according to one Microsoft executive redacted. I don't know why we even bother to put these out if you're not going to let us read what it actually is.
Yeah.
And a forthcoming title from the redacted franchise may take a decade to develop. I'm thinking Skyrim 6, you think? I keep saying Skyrim because I feel like that's the only game they've done. Elder Scrolls 6.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
I don't know. Halo feels like their own. Correct me if I'm wrong, but again, I wasn't in the Xbox ecosystem, so I'm not saying this to be rude or just to come off as a PlayStation fangirl or anything like that. But what other first-party huge titles did they have outside of the Halo series that was Xbox exclusive? I know there has to be more.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's just because I wasn't in that ecosystem. I'm sure a lot of people who played them are like this, and I believe you. I'm sure there are. Mm-hmm. I just can't think of any. So I feel like it would have to be Halo or within one of those studios that they just acquired, because Bethesda already takes a sweet long time on stuff. But they were usually great about not telling us until about 6 to 8 months out from release. Starfield seemed to be a little bit early, but I mean, there can't be anything else they're working on right now. They're still trying to get that out the door.
Right.
At Bethesda. I don't know.
So, hey, I'm not trying to be...
these people are doing anymore.
If I seem a little distracted, for fuck's sake, there is some airplane pilot outside in the air doing loop-de-loops or some trick shit, and it's getting on my nerves. And if you can hear it, which I doubt it at this point, but my God, I can hear it.
Well,
and I'm just waiting, because if it starts to sound like it's getting very close, I'm gonna run.
Must be close to some small airfield, huh?
No, there is no airport nearby. That's what's.
Well, I'm saying like a small one.
There's a small one about 20 minutes from here.
Well, I mean, it'll take them 2 minutes to fly to you. That's what I like.
Perhaps,
Cherokee, Cessnas, things of that nature. That there's like little airports for those kind of little puddle jumper airplanes and everything. You have to be, because even when I was watching your show, Man Cave, and your bloopers reel, how long you guys had to wait for that.
Now
like, you have to have a small airfield next to you.
But that was near the airfield. Understandable.
Oh, like you moved towards it to film? Okay.
Well, I mean, his house at the time was near.
Oh, that's right. It was over at
so it was kind of like across the highway, and then you could get there to it. So it was right near. Why they're outside my house, I don't know. It's just, I think it stopped. But my God,
we'll get through it. I don't hear it though, so I don't think the siblings do either. So at least there's that. If that makes you feel a little better.
Well, it was distracting me because I could just hear it, and I'm like, "Please go away! Please go away! This is distracting."
This is all
right. Well, I think maybe he's gone.
Yeah,
so we'll continue.
But yeah, so I don't know. We'll find out. I think we'll find out more with Starfield and when it's really legit going to be done. We have it. June 11th is when the next big direct will be coming up for that. Might have more future plans then that they'll release. I don't know. Just please don't announce the freaking game 10 years early. Just don't.
They will.
If we got it from some sort of complaint in a lawsuit, fine. We were never supposed to probably see any of that anyway. But don't let the internet bully you then into telling you what it is. Just like you don't know. It's fine. But kind of continuing with Xbox here, been quite a quiet on first party games over the last year, and we're starting to see some of the Xboxers getting a little frustrated with it seems. And I mean, fair. If you did, there was 0 first party Microsoft or Xbox games in 2022, if I'm right.
Really?
I think so.
I mean, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, when I was because it might have been their last one. Okay, but Phil Spencer even stated it's been too quiet. Xbox not only has its player base to answer to when it comes to that sort of thing, but Microsoft and apparently the corporation really isn't happy with the lack of first party activity coming out of the gaming arm for Microsoft here. So I was reading through a Reddit thread the other day, had no idea that this was finally hitting its head with the gamers who loved Xbox since the beginning. But even reading through that article and through Reddit and from random people, they're starting to all sound pretty fed up with wondering why they even bothered to get the Xbox Series X at this point. They loved all their Xbox games. They said it was great to, of course, be able to use all of their Xbox games on a newer system that runs them really, really well. But at this point, I was reading how a lot of them were buying PlayStations and then just keeping their Xbox for all of the other games, so they could use it, or Game Pass. And I don't know if that's the most common thing, but when I'm reading it in just random threads from just normal people all over the place, as opposed to just an article, and how long it went, that I was just kind of, and I could understand being upset with that. You were promised all of this stuff that it seems like hasn't completely come to fruition yet. And it's been out long enough. It's been a couple years now. Maybe quit acquiring all of the things and get some games out the door. I don't know. But they're disappointed. They'd been in the ecosystem forever. Again, catalog of older titles, great. But they've been wandering to Sony for the exclusives, which is ironic to me since they were always throwing a fit over the Activision Blizzard acquisition. I don't know. Sony's got me perplexed.
Yeah. No, I'm
They
with
have
you.
all of their exclusives, and then I'm like, I want COD. It's like, you've got so many great exclusives. And I mean, while I think it's garbage and I think we should let people play games and on whatever they want, from a business standpoint, Microsoft probably needs to stop being, we're going to let everybody play all the things we buy.
Yeah.
Just from a business standpoint. Do I think it's garbage to do it one way or the other? I mean, kind of. But I mean, if you own your own studio, bred it from, the bottom up and are creating games for your own console, fine. You're paying for the whole thing. You're paying for the publishing. You're paying for the dev team. You're doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
They're probably going to have to. I mean, you're just going to have to keep some of these things for yourself. I don't know. But yeah, more and more over the weekend, I keep seeing more and more sentiments of regret for this version of Xbox, as they haven't had any new exclusives over the last year. And Microsoft keeps trying to make everyone happy. Like I said, I don't know. So we'll see what happens. But it also makes me wonder, because they were coupling that with the fact that Hi-Fi Rush didn't make the money that it needed to make, which was like an Xbox exclusive. But again, Game Pass day one. I wonder if that is hurting the sales on some of it. Because now I'm not buying it. I'm playing it on Game Pass, beating it, probably done with it.
Yeah, I feel like that it would have to kind of come into factor the sales you're getting, because if you're tracking downloads, at least you'd know that people are actually playing it. But if you're not, and you're just saying, well, who bought it, then how do you know? You're going to have to track downloads at this point to even keep track of what people are playing.
And if you're still not making the money that it needed to make, I had such a confusing time right now, because just as soon as I think I understand that something like this will happen, and I don't get it. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. Part of me has to wonder if that's your own dev team that you acquired that made the game, and on Game Pass, and didn't make the money it needed to make. I feel like that was all on you.
Right. These were your business decisions.
Right. So while I do enjoy the Game Pass, don't get me wrong, as far as a consumer, it is a great value.
Sure.
$11 a month, and I play the AAA games over there, because I don't like any AAA games enough anymore to shell out $70. Sorry. I know, as far as inflation goes and blah, blah, everyone wants to argue with me about it, that they should be more expensive. I don't care. $70 is still a lot. So I buy my indies, and then I play my AAA on Game Pass. So I don't know what to say. That's how I treat it. So either the price of it's going to have to go up, or they're going to have to restructure something. Or, I don't know, you're probably making plenty of money. Just stop whining. I don't know. That's, again, like, rich people get rich people, I guess.
If I may, I'm kind of thinking as an Xbox executive.
Okay.
They set up a system, a price point, a gateway for gamers to play whatever they want. It's a dream. And they offer it for $10.
Yeah.
And then they're in a position where they're going to have to ask for more money. They know they're going to piss the gamers off.
Oh, God.
And they're afraid to do it. So
I think they know we'll pay it.
I think they're going to have to get there at some point, because we've spoken ad nauseum about this. The value is too great.
I think even $20, $25, $30 would still be a good value each month for it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's just, how can you sustain that at $10 when you're giving everything away?
Yeah. I mean, with live service games, it kind of makes sense to me, because they don't stay on Game Pass forever. So if you want to continue playing it, you're going to have to buy it. And most likely you're going to want to stay over there, because that's where all of your stuff is saved, right? Your character leveled up, all of the stuff you've earned, it's on Microsoft. So you're going to buy it on Windows so you can keep all of your stuff. That makes sense. Like these one-shot story games that probably don't have a lot of replayability, that's where I'm wondering if that's killing those sales. I don't know. We'll see. Again, I throw my money at indies and I won't at AAA. I can't remember the last time I've bought any AAA day one. I just wait for sales if it was something I really wanted to. Or eventually get it in a Humble Bundle, which seems to be the case. I have Death Stranding Director's Cut now on so many different things for free that it's kind of hilarious to me how many times I've been given that game on different services that I've subscribed to over the years. I think I might even already have it on Steam just for the crap of it. So I guess if somebody wants it, let me know. Come into Discord. I don't know. It's for PC only, though. I don't have anything for console. But speaking of keeping on that same train here, Sony acquired another studio, which again is hilarious to me about their bitching about, Microsoft. But it's their 20th studio now. Xbox, you think they're going to share? Maybe you should write a letter.
No.
So it's Firewalk Studios, which is a AAA dev team working on a live service games for PC and PS5. So it looks like they were working on those things for them. And then they're like, hey, why don't we just buy you? They did publish one of their games, though, in April of 2021, starting the relationship between the two, So it's going to be part of the PlayStation's push into live service games. So however you feel about that, with 10 projects supposedly in development with them. I don't know. I don't like live service games.
No,
but if you do, then good time for you. And then all the while, if you have been excited about seeing the Sony games that have been coming to PC, you might have been noticing a price increase just kind of being stealthily put in there for all of their games. Reset Era spotted the price increase for the PS4 and PS5 games on SteamDB that were affecting regions like Argentina, Canada, Chile, China, Colombia, Japan, South Korea. So like kind of your big gaming countries. I wonder why. A portion of the games affected was Returnal, which was like just remastered, I guess, or ported over to the PC, however you want to articulate, like February, I believe. Obviously, Marvel's Spider-Man. Why wouldn't that, get an uptick? Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Horizon Zero Dawn, Days Gone, 2018 God of War. So it happened somewhere between the 14th and 19th of this month here in April. The newest games taking a higher hike than the ones that have been released for several years already. So they haven't officially announced the price hikes.
Okay.
So it's still unknown if the price increases on Steam will affect the prices in other digital and physical retail storefronts. You know what I mean? Like, are they going to do it everywhere, in respective regions, or whether even more regions could just expect to see similar price increases? But hopefully you got on them right away when you wanted them.
Sure.
Because I can't imagine wanting to pay even more than what AAA prices are now for some of these games. I mean, I've already got them. And then you put them on your PlayStation Plus. I don't know. Again, I don't understand life anymore.
I don't either. It doesn't make any sense.
Nothing makes sense. Everybody wants money for something silly. And then the things that I truly believe you should be charging for, I don't give it away. I don't know. I don't know. Let's keep it up here because there's more poop show out of Meta, their
boy.
VR division. Layoffs, because of course. Why would all these large capitalistic job creators keep all of their people on board? So Ready at Dawn, the dev team behind Lone Echo VR, which was actually a pretty good game, is the latest affected by job cuts over at the Meta Quest and VR owner. One employee saying it was about a third of the studio that was let go.
Oh, boy.
Washington Post said it was around 4,000 people, which targeted the highly skilled staff, which is odd to me, including like their engineers and other technical workers. Meta acquired Downpour Interactive has also been affected. I'm saying yay. So yay for getting bought, right, guys?
Right.
Isn't it great to get bought and let go? Downpour Interactive is the one who created VR tactical shooter Onward. Taking to the old Twitters, of course, for the last time that I could trust some of it on the week before, from the statements from former tech designer Colin McErney. Choice words are that I cannot disparage Meta. So let me just say that Ready at Dawn was a wonderful studio full of incredible people.
Okay.
So, or as he's legally not allowed to call them pieces of crap, he'll let you, infer whatever you want from that statement. So now we have basically Microsoft, Take-Two, Riot, EA, Twitch, Meta, these large ones doing all these layoffs. I know. I feel like I'm turning it into a bitch about capitalism podcast now at this point. But I mean, I have examples.
You do.
Lots of them, in fact. I don't know. So let's just move on to something happy. Nintendo had their Indie World Showcase. I hope we all watched because there were some fun games there. We got release dates for some that some people were waiting on.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about fun games before we move on for the day.
Okay.
Let's see. Mineko Night Market. I'm hoping I say they called them Neko the whole time in the trailer when I was watching it. It does look pretty cute. I don't know if you saw it. I like the watercolor graphics. The focus is on Japanese mythology, so I think you might think it's really fun. And lots of cats.
Cats is fun.
Right? Like I've said 3 really amazing things in that in my last paragraph there. It's an exploration game along with taking part in like your local night market. You can craft, you make friends. It looks like a game for me. Definitely looks like one of those. I like it. Like September 26th is when it launches on the Switch and also for PC. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of excited to see that because while I do have my Switch, I think I broke it though. Did I tell you that?
No, what happened?
Yeah, when I took it with us on our last trip, I think down home for Christmas, I always brought it with us so we could watch Hulu or whatever at the hotel. And it was in my hand and it slid through and hit the ground when we were taking stuff out of the trunk. And it looked fine, but the controller was all sorts of pushed into itself. And I was like, oh, I popped it back, but I'm not convinced it's probably still going to work. But so sad face. I think I just have to get one Joy-Con. So it may not be so bad, but still, I was very like, aw. But yeah, did you watch that one? Any thoughts?
The art style kind of had this, I don't know what it reminds me of. Like there's elements to it. It's like, I know I've seen something like this. It kind of has some Animal Crossing element to, as far as the design, yeah. I guess. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it seems interesting enough.
Befriending townsfolk, crafting, all that.
Mm-hmm. It seems like it would be a fun little adventure game with a lot of heart and fun.
A lot of different sim mechanics too, which I find interesting because like selling at the market, doing all this stuff. It's kind of like fantasy life and other games like it, I guess, maybe.
I'm all down for games that are trying something new. So
right.
This looks like something that I could get into. I think so.
I could see me getting into this one as well. So we'll keep an eye on it. September 26th. Not that long from now. So that's pretty good. And then My Time at Stand Rock. This one looks like, again, like a game that I would totally get into. The follow-up to My Time at Porsche, which I'm sure most of us have probably heard that game. So you can assemble machines, you're taking commissions, you build up your own workshops, you customize your home. Also looks to have plenty of exploration with a little combat I saw mixed in there too. Like you'll come across monsters every once in a while. So players looking around in ancient ruins in search of relics. And so kind of probably, again, like an Animal Crossing or something where you've got all these different kind of things going on. But I thought it looked cute and I'm into it. I'm sure I'm going to get this one also because My Time at Porsche was also fun. I don't know if you ever played that one. But
I never did, but I think as soon as you said the name, I think I may have it in my library. Like it was something I looked into and thought, okay, maybe.
Probably with Epic Streamers. We got a lot of games, man.
Yeah.
Just throwing at us for whatever.
So yeah, I mean, just looking at this, I might, if I could maybe get into this. It seems like it could be kind of fun. I think Katrina would love this for sure.
Excellent. So, summer this year. They didn't actually give a specific date, just said summer 2023. So hopefully that's like June.
Sticks. It's like that gives them that little openings. Like we can push this as far as September, October.
I would say September 21st. Is that when summer, like fall is now? I feel like the date keeps moving. When I was growing up, it was always 21, but maybe there's something with the moon being in a place that screws everything up and it has to be the 20th. I don't know.
I'm
Guys,
sure it's...
I'm set in my ways. Like how I learned things. That's how it is. I'm kidding. But that does seem weird to me. Why would that date move? I don't know. So My Time at Stand Rock. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. That looks cool. And again, I'll probably get it on Steam. I know we're talking about the Nintendo Indie Showcase. It's kind of funny, but like, PCers and all of us, we're gonna PCer. But Plate Up will be coming to the Switch. It has been out on PC and early access already for a little bit, but it's a rogue-like Overcooked. Yes, please. You got my attention. Whoever did the sound mixing on the trailer needs to be fired, though, because I could not hear the narration over the freaking music even a little bit. I could hear that someone was trying to say something. No freaking clue what they were saying due to the volume of the music. Hi, guys. Hi. Sound mix. We want to hear the... Do you feel like everything these days, I can't hear dialogue because everyone wants to boost the music too freaking loud in movies, TV shows, everything?
It's always been one of those things that I've struggled with because you want to hear the music, but you also need to make sure that you balance it proper. So, yeah, I get that.
I want to hear what they're saying. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I could go on and on about that, too, because I actually looked up why that was. I'm like, how come movies in the 50s, I can hear them beautifully, and they didn't have lapel mics? What's going on? You know. Anyway, played up, though. I want to play. I'm probably never going to find anyone to want to play with me, but
if you hadn't
I could have been playing it already.
If you had not said roguelike, you'd have had
Your
me.
favorite word.
And I would have been like, okay, you got me. But you said the cursed
Your favorite
words.
word. Well, I mean, what if it were like a roguelike management sim? I think that, I don't know. Anyway, I could have had it already, obviously, on PC. But again, I don't have a lot of people who likes to play those types of games with me. So I just look at them from afar, like my face just pushed up against the window. Like, oh, it looks like fun. Quilt of Cats. Cats of Calico, sorry. Quilt of Cats. Okay, I don't know. This one had me a little confused because you're making cozy quilts for your cats. So the graphic style is fun. Mm-hmm. Gotta be a chill, relaxing game, right?
Sure, yeah.
And when I was reading it, apparently there's a board game like this. So that's what this was based off of. So I had no clue about this at all. And you score points by creating patterns on the quilt that will attract cats. The cats are customizable. So you can play online or local multiplayer with ranked matches and weekly challenges. I'm trying to envision what that's like, too. Did you watch the trailer on this one?
Yeah, it seems like a very chill, casual game. Like, I feel like this is something you could just do on mobile. It maybe is a mobile game for all I know.
It could be both. Yeah, it could be other than just coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm the audience for really slow games like that. Hello, how many times have I told you I played blah, blah, blah simulator, blah, blah, blah simulator? Like, I can get into those sort of things. This one, though, I'm not sure. I think I might have to see a little bit more.
Yeah. I'm curious. I want to see if it is on mobile because there may be more to it, but it seems so simple in its casualness. You know what I mean?
Right. Like you would only need to touch the screen to make this happen.
Yeah.
There's no mechanics that are a bit super complicated. Just wonder what designs attract cats.
I don't know.
Do you think I thought it was always just black.
Right?
If they saw something black, they wanted to lay on it.
Yeah.
That's all I knew out of cats in my day.
Or something they're not supposed to be on. That's the other thing.
That's why I always thought it was like black because like, oh, as soon as it comes out of the dryer, let me get all of my hair all over your black pair of pants that's never going to come off now until you just put me in the washer again. You know?
They like to sit in my seat at home. Like I will come home and they're snuggled in my chair and I'm like, dude, move. You know.
It's probably because it smells like you. They're like,
probably.
Daddy.
My one cat is so needy. So needy. Like, my God. You come out and he's just and he's like all up on you and it's like I got to go to work, man. Just back up. But he's all up under my feet, just rubbing around. It's just like, just please stop. And then you go home or you leave for work, come home, and then there he is again. He's like, just let me go clean up and everything, and then I'll go clean up. And then maybe I just want to sit and relax for a minute. And then he wants to climb up in my lap, in my face. And I'm just like, just please, man, just lay down. Lay down.
Like Gizmo, my old Gizmo kitty.
It's just...
I thought it was adorable, though. But sometimes even when I got home from work, she's like, "Meh, meh." I'm like, dude, just don't yell at me the instant I get in the door. I'm home. Yeah. Sorry you missed me. I'm coming. And then if I didn't follow her, she'd keep looking back at me and like screaming at me. Which I found out cats only learned how to meow for us. Like, really, they don't do it a lot, but they've been trained like, oh, I know if I make cute noises, humans do things I need. We're like, oh, okay. Anyway.
I guess.
Moving on back to games. Rift of the Necro Dancer, though. You had to know I was going to love this one. Because Crypt of the Necro Dancer, hello, I was playing that, and I was trying to make you play it a little bit.
You did.
Ohio.
You tried.
But, yeah.
You just never got around to it.
Yeah, well,
There's
you did,
so
I think,
many.
maybe a little. We had a lot of going on. So it's the follow-up, Rift of the Necro Dancer. So it's another rhythm game across all sorts of different levels. I saw like Guitar Hero style mechanics too here. It did look like it was all that way, but all rhythm for sure. All rhythm game. I'm here for it. I like those type of games, and especially when I was playing Crypt of the Necro Dancer, it was always so on point with how the beat was that, I mean, if you're probably not good with music beats and stuff like that, it might seem hard. You know, everyone's different, but it was really good with the tone and the pace with the music, how it goes. So I'd be excited to see what they do with this one. Yeah.
I could see someone getting into that.
I'll get addicted to them for like 3 or 4 weeks, like a month, and then I might be out, but we'll see. All they did was narrow the release date on this one to this year. So there was no real date, but probably this year at some point. And then Animal Well. That one came back up. I know we talked about it. I believe this is that single dev where you play a meatball, a fuzzy ball. I don't know what it is. I don't.
Yeah,
the pixelated game where it's like you're going through a labyrinth style puzzler kind of situation. Still a good amount of time, it seems, on this one. They were saying early 2024. So a year, I would say. We're still within the year of maybe it coming out. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. This is one that caught so much.
There's something about it that I could see myself getting into, but I guess I would have to be in the mood. Like, it doesn't look like a bad game. It looks interesting, but I don't necessarily think I would just hop right into it. No pun intended to the frog that was in the trailer.
Yeah, whatever it is. Oh, yeah, with the frog.
But just saying, I mean, I could see myself getting into that. It seems like a platformer that I could possibly get into. It doesn't seem overly complicated or cruel and vicious with its difficulty level. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I figured you might like it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that this is one for me, but keep an eye on it if you like it. And then the next one they did, Crime O'Clock. This actually, again, I like those mysteries that you solve. So this is another one that I think I could get into. It's saying it has 40 cases to solve across time and space. So it kind of looks like a Where's Waldo kind of thing where you're looking for clues in a very congested area. And the more you discover in one era can unlock more mysteries in another and change the maps as you go. So we're definitely in the area of randomly generated video gaming stuff, which I guess, as things evolve, that's our next evolution. Probably to try to keep replayability of some kind in their video games, but it's fine. Just not knocking it. It's just noticing the trend. But it does seem there's a little bit of a learning curve on the mechanics, which isn't really a deterrent for me, but some people might have a hard time with that when there's just like a lot to learn and absorb and figure out. I get it. So June 20th is when they're saying this one will come out. I don't know if you saw this. What do you think? Get lost in your cybernetic future? Solving crimes?
It does have a unique gameplay element to it. It's not something I've seen very often, but I don't know if it would be one I would seek out immediately because I could see... Like, I would want to get into it because I do like puzzle games, and this seems very unique in that regard, but I don't know, sometimes if I can't focus on it, especially if I need to actually think and piece things together, if I get distracted and then I can't focus on that, then I'm going to just be like, I don't know what's going on, and then I'll lose interest because I can't focus on the task at hand.
That's fair. And then now you've forgotten what you were doing, and then it's like, well, this clearly wasn't keeping me interested.
Right.
The rest of it was fine. I don't know that there was any other games that I felt compelled to chat about after that. It looked like more sequels: Oxenfree 2, Tesla Grad 2, Blasphemous 2, which was the first trailer since it was revealed, to my understanding, with Blasphemous. Then our fave, another Five Nights at Freddy's coming on over, Security Breach to the Switches. Which actually released later in the day of the showcase. So you could have grabbed it up right away. I didn't get as in detailed about the sequels. But if there's one that caught your eye, siblings, let me know. If there's one that caught your eye and you want to talk about. I never played the first one of a lot of these. So the second ones didn't appeal if the first one didn't.
No.
Personally. So yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, if you were looking for other dates for other of the games, the paper trailer they said is coming in August. Little Kitty Big City coming out in 2024. Brotato, which I know some people were looking forward to, still narrowed the window down to this year. No real date. And then Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, like August 18th. Yeah, so we'll see. Brotato, though, I know some people that would probably get into it. It looks way too brutal for me and too much. It's too much.
Just the name of it alone is what kind of caught my eye, and I thought, Brotato, okay, let me look into that. And then, yeah, I see what you mean. It was just like, maybe, yeah, that's where it kind of lost me a little bit. But if that's your jam,
take it, do it. I know a lot of people who like those stupid, brutal. Anyway, I don't know. I just saw it and it made me think. One of the very first streamers I ever followed on Twitch, his name is Brotato, and so we're talking a really long time ago. So I was like, hey, okay.
I know that guy.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with each other at all, but but the last thing I wanted to mention here, there was a new trailer that came out for Unrecord, which I know we've talked about here on this show a little bit ago, siblings. I can't remember how long. So if you recall, this is the first person found footage body cam style game that they gave us about 2 minutes of pure gameplay in this trailer, which I appreciate. I have to say it might look a little too real, but dang. Yeah, if you're an FPS fan, I highly recommend checking this one out. It's an interesting concept. It's definitely a different idea. Could be really good. Me and FPS sometimes don't get along. If that's the only mechanic in a game, I tend to get bored if all I'm doing is shooting. If it's a part of it, fine. Like Red Dead. It's a part of it. Fine. It's not the only thing I have to do. But it looks really neat to the point some people were calling him bullshit that this was not like a game and he had to go into Unreal and show yes, I created this. I'm just good. Sorry.
No, I mean, when you showed me the trailer, you sent it to me, I watched it, and for a moment, I was like, is this real? Or is this supposed to be what is this supposed to be? I was confused because I thought it was legit real. Now, at the end, there was something that kind of made my brain start to see the digital version of it all. I was like, oh, it's a video game. Oh, all right. But before that, it's I couldn't comprehend it. I was like, so I'm just watching somebody with body cam footage and we're just playing, pretending to play a game? Or what? What is going on?
To me, it looked like they could have totally filmed it like FMV style from the body cam and then imported it in, as far as I could tell. But yeah, they had the digital faces on the enemies. So it was trying to me, it was maybe so you don't have it so realistic that you're just literally sitting there killing human beings.
Right.
But because it had the distorted, pixelated kind of face on it. But yeah, it looks great. So I don't know. Go check it out. Again, if you're into first-person shooters, go check out Unrecord. They did a 2-minute pure gameplay trailer. Let me know what you think. I mean, I think it looks like an interesting, different concept for an FPS. So those who love them, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, really, because I'm not great at them. So that makes all the difference in how much I want to play them. But that's it. That's all I got. What you got?
Well, because of the weekend in the whole wedding thing. My time was limited, so I was trying to figure out something I could talk about, and luckily the universe provided.
Oh, yay.
So we're going to talk about, not in great detail, but detailed enough for what it is. I'm going to talk about Horizon The Burning Shores DLC that came out. Since there was something that, I wanted to play. This is where I broke my rule. I had to.
Oh, so you have been playing 2 games.
I have been playing 2 games. Mm-hmm. So I got to start on this Thursday, I think it was. So I could really kind of get into it. Hopefully get done. I did not finish like I wanted because I have this bad habit of exploring. But I'm very close. So I'm kind of glad that at least I got to the narrative end, or at least as close as I could, so I could speak to it in some capacity. And I did get to explore. However, they do an interesting job at limiting some of your exploration up front, which...
Oh, like in the beginning?
For story purposes. Because the story does pick up from where we left off Aloy. Now, I don't want to... Just in case you haven't seen or played the Horizon Forbidden West, I won't say exactly what some of the details are. However, there is a call or something's going on out further west, which is LA. You have to meet Silence, who that actually occurred to me in the moment. Silence was played by Lance Reddick, who recently passed, and it made me wonder, in future games, are they going to maintain his design facially and just get someone to voice act, or are they going to change him altogether?
They may not even need the voice actor with today's AI. I guess
true.
If like his estate or anything agrees to it, they could just digitally recreate the whole thing, I imagine.
Yeah.
However, that's working because we're just now crossing into that day and age where I'm trying to pay attention to how they're going to handle it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to have to be one of those things where actors and stuff will start having it in their clauses, whether it's okay or not to continue using their likenesses posthumously or not.
Yeah, very true.
I feel like you're just going to have to. But yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
So... he kind of sets you on a path out toward Los Angeles, which we have not really touched on. I think farthest we got was San Francisco. Okay. So you take your Sunwing, which is one of your new mounts that you got at the ass end of Forbidden West, which for me, since I'm such an explorer throughout the game, I didn't really get to experience getting to ride a Sunwing. Like I did, but not. It wasn't enough. Yeah, it was just like, well, I'm at the end of the game. What more can I do? Like I used it for a little bit, and then that was about it. So here, I actually get to use it. Now they start off as you go into the section of LA. Like I mentioned, they're going to limit you immediately because there's this big tower that as soon as you get close, it starts, launching.
Space lasers?
I guess you could say that. You get shot at.
Okay. Yeah.
And then therefore your Sunwing goes down, and then you have to kind of stay out of the way. But then you get to explore. You get to see what this new area is. Now it's really kind of broken up into islands, like a little island here, a little island there. And then maybe there's one section toward kind of like the northeast that's a bit more connected, but a lot of it is islands, and then one little stretch. But there's also volcanic lava, which is also fun.
Oh, yeah?
Which I haven't jumped into, thankfully. I don't know how that would work, but I don't...
Not even just to see?
No. I'll pass. I've just not been in the mood to die.
Oh, okay.
So...
I don't know what kind of repercussions you have
probably
you
not.
die in this
I
one,
just
so I don't know.
I have it. It's not in my nature to jump in the dangerous volcanic.
Oh, I jump off of everything. I'm like, how much fall damage? How much can I do here? And then I take it from there and decide how I'm going to traverse.
And it reminded me, I had not realized how long And I didn't feel like it was that long. It was only 2 months ago, was it not, that this game came out? Or was it longer than that?
Time has no meaning anymore, but it hasn't been that long. Like, they had to have been working on it together. Maybe, I bet you, it was supposed to be all freaking one game.
Maybe I just don't remember when I played OG Horizon.
Forbidden West, right?
Or Forbidden West. But
release.
I had to relearn how to play.
It has been over a year.
It has been.
February 18th of 22. Yeah, so.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that's what it's saying here on the Google's. Horizon Forbidden West was released on February 18th, 22 for PlayStation 4 and 5.
Jesus Christ. I did not realize it'd been a year.
An expansion was just released on the 19th. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
sure.
So that's still really close, though. Like, they had to have been working on both together. Like, there's just, yeah.
In any case,
yeah,
I didn't realize it'd been that long. I had to relearn how to play.
Okay.
Because I was just like, what? Huh? Buttons, push, huh? And I got confused, and I was afraid to just jump in and try to attack something because I thought, I'm going to die. Yeah. But eventually I found my bearings. I got back into a rhythm. Mm-hmm. And then I met new machines. And, that was not fun. So the first one that you'll come across is called a water wing. And what was interesting about them, they're very much like a sunwing, except they can go underwater. I saw them do this, and I thought, that would be cool. And then I never could find one. And then I realized later on why they limited them to the story. Because there's a reason. You have to go find one eventually, and it's like, okay. Now I know why I couldn't find this. Because it was making me angry because there were one or two little parts from the machine that I needed to upgrade the armor that I'm currently wearing. And of course, what good's that going to do me now? Because I'm almost at the end of the game. What does it matter?
No.
So, or the end of the DLC, should I say. But the very first machine, or the other machine that I had to actually fight outside of that was called, and I'm hoping I got this right, it's called a billy gut. And
I like it.
It's essentially a frog, is what it is. Okay. I thought it would be, I don't want to say easy, but instantly became one of my most frustrating machines. They had not killed me, but oh my God, the amount of hopping and landing on me and hopping and landing on me and just like, why won't you go away? Furthermore, this particular machine has, and I can't remember the actual term that they, or the name for these particular machines, but they're like little flies. And they're in these little eggs, which I didn't realize at first, but there's these little pods scattered about everywhere. And I'm thinking the machine is dropping them. So they hatch in these little buzzy flies, and they'll come in little swarms and just, you won't even see them coming. Like, you'll be focused on the billy gut, and the next thing you know, you're hitting the head, and it's like, Jesus Christ, where did you come from?
Can you kill the eggs?
You can.
Before they hatch?
Yeah, if you can find them. But that's the thing. They just seemed like, even when I thought I got them all, more would show up, and I'm like, where the shit are these things at? Like, I couldn't find them. So they had to have been coming from the frog.
Right, yeah.
I have to believe that. But I don't know that for certain. I'm just based on what I'm seeing.
I don't know it for a fact. I just know that it's true.
And it also likes to spread poison gas everywhere, because that's always fun. So as it's hopping, it's spraying gas, poison everywhere. It's spitting it everywhere. They're not fun.
Except for the lungs. Opens it up.
Yeah. It's a very, very frustrating machine.
Sounds
and
like it.
If you can just, if you can find your bearings and keep a distance away from it, you're good. But the moment it gets on top of you, even if you see it jumping and you're running, somehow I managed to get some of the blowback, and I'm just like, and I go forward, and it's just like, Jesus, man, come on. And I just get so frustrated fighting this damn thing. But luckily, I don't have to fight them all the time. There's one section that they make you fight it, and then everything else is up to you. I don't recall any other new machines, but there were, like, they had sections where if you're looking for maybe like I'm just going to call them the animals if I can't think of what it is because I don't remember all their names. The elephant, the trimmer tusk, I think is what it was. The slither fang had its own little cavern somewhere. I found a tide ripper, which is like the big Loch Ness monster looking thing. So it's like they all have their own little crevice notched away, and you can just find them there. So if you need the part, it's there. But you don't have to fight them. They didn't push me to fight anything. They did, however, make me go underwater to find water wing parts so I could override them. But what did they do to make that fun? Well, they put it in this big, deep chasm filled with snap maws.
Of course, yeah.
And I was just like, I can't fight underwater. And
at all?
No. So what they did is they said, well, here are these ballistic cannons that you can shoot at the snap maws. And I was like, okay, great. So I can shoot them and they'll die, right? No. You just pissed them off. And then they will come searching for you. And I thought, did I just not aim in the right spot? Maybe I didn't. I don't know. It just did not make things that much easier like I was hoping. I thought I'll just pop, get it done. And then that'll clear out the area and I can go swimming freely. No, didn't happen. But anyway,
Do they come out of the water? Like maybe you're supposed to cut them out or something and then...
They can, but this was not an ideal spot to do that. This was right in the middle of this body of water.
Okay.
So...
All right, well...
Yeah,
there must be some way.
It was not going to be that easy. They were just like, no, you're going to have to be stealthy and do this shit on your own. So figure it out. Yep. But what I will I'll try to talk about the story in certain details because again, I don't know what would be considered spoiler territory with this. So you eventually go to this area and you're trying to find, or you're tracking down a signal and you run into the Quinn, which are some of these highfalutin tribes. They seem like from the other game, they showed up and they seemed like that they thought that they were like the kings of everything. Like they're just so high society. Not that they talk like that. They just seem like they come off like very pretentious. Like we're the better tribe out of all of you. They call Aloy barbarian. Oh, look at you, barbarian. Ugh. It's like, fuck you, okay.
Right? Like, what makes you better?
But you eventually run into a Quinn warrior named Seika, who the actress looked familiar to me, but I looked her up and I don't know, I've never seen her in anything, or at least I have not seen what she has been in.
Right.
So...
One of those faces.
Yeah, one of those faces looked familiar, but not quite. But she kind of seems to be... I'm trying to remember some of the other characters, but again, it's been a year. Who knew?
Yeah.
But she seems like that they are kind of setting her up as a potential love interest for Aloy. At least that's a vibe I got at some point, you know? It didn't quite go into that territory, but you kind of get like that, the electricity, the look in their eyes, you know.
And it's forbidden because obviously she's much better than her.
Oh, yes.
How are they going to make that work?
Who knows? But Seika is trying to find her sister, and apparently there is a group of people who have been following this, what do they call them? Living ancestor, much like what Aloy technically is. Someone who looks like someone from the past, but is not that person.
Maybe just in the bloodline.
Right. So there's this guy named Walter Londra, and... I am almost positive. I had to look this up, but apparently IMDb has not done their updating.
Or not been submitted.
Yeah. The actor playing Walter Londra looks like Sam Witwer, who people would know from Days Gone, Force Awakens, a bunch of other video game stuff too. Like it looks like him, except he's got this big bushy mustache like Tom Selleck. So... It took me a second. I was like, I know that guy. And I was like, yep, that's it. There it is. So he has this cult. That's the best I can put it. He's got all these people believing, I'm going to take you. It's going to be the Enlightenment. We're going to just be free. And you got to follow these trials and all this shit. So,
and if all you only do is pay me $1,000 a month. Then...
Seika's sister is apparently joined up with these people. So she wants to go try to find her because she doesn't trust them. And then, of course, we don't initially realize that's what's happened because we go to this area in which you uncover or you think something's a problem or that these people are in danger. Come to find out they've just drinking the Kool-Aid, and now they're all like, well, look at all this. And down below, there's all this old tech where this guy, or at least the OG guy, is spouting all this, really thought-provoking. Come on. And there's even this very pretentious ass bit in these displays where this hologram just says, please sit with me. And you just go sit in the chair and then it just starts spewing all this. This is what I think of you. This is the laundry way and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, go fuck yourself, dude. Like you, I understand some people could just be roped into this. I'm not buying it. So.
I'm not into it, man.
But his idea of true enlightenment and his plans, if you don't want to know, I'm just gonna have to. There are going to be some light spoilers, so if you don't want to know, come back to it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the last game, we find out about a project known as Genesis. Genesis was a machine that has apparently destroyed a planet that people from Earth had escaped to, or a colony had escaped to.
So Mars.
Yeah. So people came back, and these were I can't remember their names. Damn it. I should have written it down. But they were like Carrie Ann Moss's character. She was one of these people who they left Earth for a reason. And then, of course, when this Genesis thing came and disrupted everything, they were coming back and it's like, well, we're going to just retake this shit because we don't want to deal with that. So this Genesis machine is coming to Earth. That's what they know. Or at least that's what Aloy knows. And she's trying to stay mum on the whole situation while trying to help Seika. But as things start to unravel, she cannot keep that secret because there's more to it going on.
Right.
And one of the things she finds that Londra has done is created a spaceship. And he's getting ready to take off. However, the ship is not capable of taking all these people. And that's what he's promising. So there's a deeper thing going on here. So
probably the wealthy get to get on first or whatever if they pay their way. Like how it would work in real life.
But what defines wealth in this new culture? You know what I mean?
Oh, true. Yeah, I don't know.
So I'm not sure.
Rubbing elbows with.
Right. So I'm not sure how this is going to play out. I'm very curious because, like I said, I'm right there at the ass end. We're trying to find this man and what he's done. We've take out the tower. That's the other thing we're trying to do. But there was another element to the story, or not necessarily to the story, another element to the lore that they haven't really touched on as far as human history. And I thought this was kind of a fun thing. So where this tower is set up is like this big old theme park. Okay. And it's littered with dinosaurs. Dinosaur holograms, mind you. So as they are exploring, they notice some of the dinosaurs are somewhat reminiscent of some of the machines. Like they come across a brachiosaur and they say, hey, that's kind of like a tall neck. And that's pretty cool. And like some of the raptors, they look like the raptor looking ones, the claw striders, I think is what they're called. Yeah.
Oh no, those are the little guys, aren't they?
The burrowers. Yeah. You got those. But funny enough, there was a funny little joke that I noticed as we were looking through all the dinosaur stuff. Seika walks by and we're walking through the raptors. And she's like, huh, that one looks clever. Get it?
That one looks clever?
Yeah. Get it?
No, I don't.
From Jurassic Park. Clever girl. So
Okay.
she looks
Yeah,
at a
it's been
raptor and
minute.
says,
I think it would have
yeah.
completely went over my head. Okay, that's cute.
It's
Yeah.
a deep cut. And it took me, like my brain went,
Yeah.
and then I
wouldn't have
walked
gotten
away.
it. Mhm.
Now, I know I've just kind of been bouncing all over the place. I've been trying to touch on what I can and explain
not
it as
give away
best
the
I
whole thing.
can. There's some fun new additions that they've added to combat, which I thought was kind of fun, like some extra skills because they give you can boost I think it was much like they did in the Frozen Wilds where you get to see, or you get to boost your level up to level 60. So they gave you new abilities. One that took me a second to get used to, but once I figured it out, I was like, I got this. So now you can unlock this ability where if you can knock down a machine and you're right in range, you can use your grappling hook to grapple to it, yank yourself over, and then come up on top of it and stab it while it's down. So it's a quick way to kind of get to it, to kind of land another blow or a finishing blow, depending on how you go. And then there's a few additional ones where you can do like a skydiving one, kind of jump down, and a few other little things. I mean, I haven't used them all, but I was trying to kind of get used to it. I thought they were kind of fun. They give you new outfits that you can get, new weapons that are a lot beefier. There's even a new collectible. They're called Bright Stones. See, I really should have written this shit down. They're like these yellow stones, brimstones, something like that, and it's like special currency. So you collect those. You can use them to upgrade some of your weapons, but primarily to help you buy new weapons, some of the more additional, stronger weapons and armor and stuff like that. So it comes in handy. I did still find a few glitches in this new DLC, which was disappointing. One in particular is we had stopped a cutscene and we were getting ready to go down through a new corridor or something like that, and I saw the girl just like flip to one side.
Oh, no.
And then I was like, okay, well, you all right? You good? And then I just kept walking. And then I noticed she's not following. And I'm like, oh, shit. And I was waiting.
Rubber banding everywhere.
Yeah, I was worried that her staying behind or not moving was going to throw me off, or they were like, get back to your partner or whatever.
Right, yeah. Don't go too far.
Luckily, that didn't happen. Luckily, I was just able to go on. And then when I got to a certain point, she popped back. So apparently there was like a warping mechanism that they put into place. Thank God.
Right.
But there were, just like little things like you'd see, I think during a cutscene, you saw somebody's jewels just kind of bouncing and it's just like, what's going on? And just be, it was like, okay.
Breathing too hard.
Yeah. So little things like that. There was even another one which feels like it could have been such a bonus, but somehow it turns into a deadly bonus. It's really messed up. So during a mission, this is the one where I had to fight the two billy guts in this almost like a big plateau or field or something like that, And there's a lot of little fly canisters everywhere. This is like one of the worst ones because I felt like I was getting so many, and every time I turn around, there's a new one and a new one, and I was like, Jesus Christ. So once I finally got everything done, I came to one of these spots where the canisters are, and I noticed there was just something coming out of it. So this spot was spawning metal shards like crazy, was not stopping. It was just
Was it supposed to? I guess not, huh?
No, this seemed like a legit glitch because there was just, items spawning out right and left, and sometimes they would be good. Sometimes they would even be like the purple, where it's like the more rare. And I was like, oh, let me get over there. So I went and I thought I was going to take advantage of this. Well, you can, but for some reason, as you stand on that spot, you get laced with poison. So it's all over you. So you're sitting there dying as you're collecting, and even your partner's like, you okay? You okay? You okay? You okay? And I'm like, yeah, just shut up. And so
I'm looting.
You have to figure out, is it worth it? Now, if you could do the looting, these are the type of items that you can't just hit the button and loot. This is one of those you have to hold the button and then pick, hold down and collect. Even though I have that option turned off, because I thought that was the whole purpose, is so I didn't have to go through this animation process. Apparently, there's still, you have to sit through, like opening a chest. And I don't see how this is like opening a chest.
Have
but
the feature?
it's on there. It still works for like sticks and rocks and berries and stuff.
But like big stuff, you
Yeah.
have to be surprised. Yeah, you have to go through it, man. All right.
So it was frustrating in that regard, but one of a few glitches. So just be aware there are glitches.
Okay.
But the final thing I want to touch on, and maybe it's been a year too long that I just don't remember, but from what I could remember playing the original game, not that it looked bad, but as we were told, this DLC was a PlayStation 5 exclusive, so they wanted to be able to really capitalize on what this could do.
4K it out, man. Yeah, do all the stuff.
The game, or at least within that section, feels like we went from Blu-ray to 4K. Like the amount of just sharpness
Really see it, huh?
and crispness to everything. Like I thought I was like, am I mistaken? Am I crazy? Because this looks so clean and sharp. And it was just like my brain couldn't comprehend it, because I thought maybe I'm mistaking what the original game looked like, and maybe it did look this good, but this just looks just a bit sharper, just a little bit better from what I can remember. So to me, it looked like a step up graphically, just in the amount of sharpness that they had. And I've really got to give credit, because I know we were talking about this too, but I guess maybe I hadn't really paid much attention. Maybe the extra detail made a difference. But I've got to hand it to Guerrilla Games. I think they've nailed facial features.
Yeah?
Because
maybe that Unreal 5, man. Or did they use that? Or, do you know?
I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember Unreal, but maybe they did.
Yeah.
Maybe they did.
I mean,
but
two. But yeah.
there's just little nuances. Like we've talked about before, you capture those little nuances. Now, granted, I'm not going to say that I look at it and be like, oh my God, it looks so real. I understand it's a video game. I see it. But
Are we getting out of the uncanny valley area for you, or it's actually...
I think so.
Right?
I think so,
Okay.
because there's nothing about when you see the performances, I see a person's face. I'm not seeing I get the digital thing, but it's just they've really nailed it. Just little things that they did, like they were sitting there talking and through a conversation, it could be like a little lip twitch, or like someone licks their lips if they're nervous or something like that, or just teeny tiny little things that people do. Yeah. And I was seeing this right there on their faces, and I was like, holy shit, I got to give them credit. We were even talking about that through that little demo that we watched from the Unreal Engine 5, I think it was, and
GDC.
where it was like it looked so realistic, but then when they talk, it kind of throws you off.
Something about the mouth movements, doesn't seem to be completely nailed. Yeah.
But there, I think they have, and maybe it's because they've taken it away, so it's not. They look real, but it's not that level of real. You know what I mean? Like we saw in the demo. So it's like it's in this right spot, so everything just kind of works. You didn't take it too far in the realistic realm, so the little nuances can really stand out and work with those, and that's just what nails it. Nice. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know what it is, but it's just, it looks so good. I'll give it a lot of credit for that. So maybe this is what we can look forward to. Now, I'm not thinking that this is a pinnacle, because this is really something that we've gotten to see. It was built for the system. So I'm really hoping that the first official big game like this that we can get is built for the system.
Yeah, we need to keep going now.
Stock
is back.
If it can look better than that, my brain will explode, because it's looking pretty good as is, and just everything seems so vibrant. And even at night, it still felt alive and bright and vibrant and sharp, and you could see it was nice.
Yeah, nice. You didn't have to turn the brightness up, so you could see it.
I had to do that with Resident Evil. I swear to God.
I do too.
You know?
I mean, I know it's probably supposed to be part of the suspense or whatever, but I can't see, man.
Yeah,
and
if
I gotta get somewhere.
I can't. They're saying like, look for something in the room, and it's like, I don't have a flashlight.
Right.
You know, I can't see, so I had to crank it up. So
gonna be running into everything.
But yeah, there's not a whole lot I can say about it beyond that, because again, if you want to experience the story and what have you, but visually it's stunning. It's a nice new area that you can run around in. I've played it quite a bit, so it's going to last you at least a good 8 to 10 hours, depending on what you want to do.
I was just going to ask how long it was.
I feel that there's still some things I could go and discover, because I found there were these little dinosaur figurines that you could find. And funny enough, if you can find 4 out of the 5 before you get to the end, you'll find the 5th one in that area. So
okay.
That's something to kind of keep in mind. If you're wondering where the 5th one is, it will be toward the end. So that's something you can kind of finish up there. But I also found like a tool of some kind, just at random. Like I happened to be in this one area and they were like, let me go check this out. And I found this little cave. There was this little hammer, and that's a collectible for something else. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin looking for the rest of them, but apparently there's another side quest if I wanted to go after it. So, you know, there are other things that they added in to do if you want a little extra to do. And I can't wait, because I did get that water wing, and guess what you get to do?
What's that?
Dive in the water with the water wing, and then you can come back up. So you got like a little submarine / airplane.
Fun. You're either nothing can hold you down now. You're in the air, you're in the water, you're on the land. What else we got? What do we need? I don't know.
So I'm looking forward to actually getting to play with that beyond the end game. Just, because why not?
Right.
If only they could just mount guns on that son of a bitch, and I could just be like, pow, 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 pow.
Maybe the next DLC.
Maybe. Anyway, but if you've played Horizon Forbidden West, this is a no-brainer. $20. It's good DLC.
Oh,
it's worth your time.
$20.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
So highly recommend.
Excellent. And I want to correct it. The Decima engine is what they're using, which is a proprietary game engine developed primarily by Guerrilla Games. So I want to give that props where it's due then.
It's
it's their thing.
It's impressive. It really is. I give them a lot of credit for what they've done with facial features, because there's very few games that I feel like can do it that well. And when you watch those conversations, that's all I want you to say. Just pay attention to just little nuances. It's just amazing.
Maybe Epic got to take note of this over here if they're getting it that on point. But excellent. Well, it sounds like a good deal. And if you enjoyed the series, you got to take this one with it. Sounds like. Excellent. Well, that's our show.
Woo.
I guess you can try to hit us up sometime on Twitter at Super Mega Crash. I don't know how I feel about it anymore. Anyway, or go to Instagram to view the weekly icon art Steven puts his time and love into. You can also
I was going to say for absolute fact, beyond Twitter, I'd say Instagram and even TikTok is where we seem to get the most attention. So
okay,
if
but
we
I
have
just
to
feel
drop,
like TikTok's going to get banned, and then what?
That's
I
true,
don't know.
and then that's
because our people don't understand much of stuff.
the one thing that we're actually getting views on, and then that's the one thing that'll go away.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Figure it out. Something's got to overtake it, I hope. Well, if nothing else, you can send an email at supermegacrash@gmail.com and support the show by liking and leaving reviews on your preferred podcast app, and even going to patreon.com/pencil and paper productions. And if you want more than just podcasting, you can go over to youtube.com/pencil and paper productions for more. And come join our Discord. Might be the only way you get to hear when our new stuff is going up. Come on over. Links are in the description down below. And thank you for listening. I am Lacey Finley.
And I'm Stephen White.
And you can join us again next time, Super Mega Crash siblings. But until then,
game on.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.